¡Adiós! Hay un tiezo. Y este tiene un cuchillito en la mano. Muy buenos días, muy buenas tardes, muy buenas noches, queridos amigos. Como siempre os digo, dependiendo de cuando estéis viendo el directo o el vídeo que genera el directo. Así que nada, no nos demoramos más y nos vamos al lío, nos vamos al juego. Pues mira qué bonito Venecia. Aquí está Poigot y vamos a hablar con él para que nos dé instrucciones.
I am sure this little problem will pose no challenge to you.
Vale, el problema nos lo dijo ayer, pero como es evidente, yo hoy no me acuerdo. Entonces, ¿cómo lo vamos a ver? Con el mapa mental. Cruza el canal. Esto es lo que tenemos que hacer, ¿no? Es de encontrar la forma para llegar al otro lado del canal. Pues nada. Ah, con un gondolero. Oye, te digo una cosa, el canal tampoco es que sea una barbaridad, ¿no? Lo podíamos cruzar nadando, pero no se quieren mojar.
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just across the canal here.
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd, and have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he refusing to take us across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why.
Vamos a preguntarle si necesita dinero. Es verdad que se ha puesto un poquito tenso, ¿eh? Se ha puesto una mijita tenso.
If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
His problem isn't money. What is it then?
Y el problema no es el dinero, ¿cuál es el problema? ¿Esto qué es?
What a sham. A beautiful bouquet
Ah,
crushed by revelers.
cuidado. Cuidado, aquí hemos ya... A ver si... Aquí, mira.
Bella Chiara, the beautiful Chiara. A beautiful name for a beautiful gondola.
Ah, el problema del gondolero. Ya no salió. Venga, pues vamos a averiguarlo. ¿Qué problema tiene el gondolero? Está harto de los turistas. Ha discutido con su novia. Ha estropeado su ramo de flores.
Come on, Joanna. That's
Pues
a
no.
rookie mistake.
Ha discutido con la
Nice
novia.
one.
Ha discutido con la novia. ¿Cómo se llama la novia? Ciara.
Sweet. Score. One for the good guys.
Bueno, todavía no lo sabemos. Ahora sí tenemos que hablar. Venga, siéntate ahí con él. Háblame de Ciara.
I'm sorry you had a fight with Chiara.
What? How did you know?
I'm a detective. I'd like to help, if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give Chiara?
Lost? It is worse than that. I threw it away in the canal. I bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
Ella.
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right. There is not much time. I will help you.
Venga, vamos a buscar el anillo. ¿Qué hay ahí? Vamos a ver. Míralo, esto es, ¿no? ¡Ole!
I know someone who will be happy.
¡Ole! El anillo, Pichorri.
Excuse me. I believe I have something that belongs to you.
Mamma mia, grazie mille, signorina. With this, I can now win my Chiara's heart again. I know it. How to thank you?
Llevándome
My friend and I need to
enfrente.
get to the other side. We have a very important date at the Fontana di Conigli.
Ah, yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will call Chiara. Hopefully, she will forgive me.
I'm sure she will.
Well done, Detective Locke.
This district of Venice is very charming. You will love it.
¿Me he perdido algo? No, ¿verdad?
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Chiara from here. To find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, then cross the bridge and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, signorina.
Venga, a
You
ver si es
have
tan
made me
fácil.
the happiest gondolier in Venice. Do you forgive me?
Ha dicho este de la izquierda. Para adentro. Todos están aquí haciendo... Cruzo el puente y ahí está. Vale, ahí está la fuente ya. ¿Y aquella señora es con la que me tenía que encontrar? Tiene pinta, ¿verdad?
It's 9:55. The right
5
time,
minutos
the
quedan.
right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
Made me
AW.
run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run.
Ya lo sabemos.
Wait, sitting down.
Encuentra la fuente, ya lo hemos hecho. Venga, más instrucciones. Descubre quién es AW. ¡Ah! Mira. Mira tú.
Nobody. The desk clerk must be asleep or off partying. If there's no one to help me, they won't mind if I help
Claro.
myself.
AW. AB. AM. Aziz Wadi.
Aziz Wadi. That's the only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
Estoy buscando a
I'm
alguien.
sorry, I don't speak Italian. Do you speak English?
Of course, signorina. How may I bother you?
How? What? Oh, I have an appointment with one of your guests.
What is the name?
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he left a carta. You are?
Y usted es la señora Rush.
I'm Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi asked me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
Vamos a leerla. Creo que me están vigilando. He cambiado el punto de encuentro. Alicia estaba sentada en la fuente. Miró a la estatua del conejo blanco. De repente, la bestia se alejó saltando. Alicia la siguió. Una vez más, deja que Alicia te guíe. Vale, nos tenemos que poner la fuente en el único conejo blanco y mirar para adelante. Tras caminar por el callejón estrecho y cruzar un puente, Alicia se topó con dos hombres que discutían sobre quién tenía el sombrero más alto. Sus pies la llevaron de vuelta al callejón estrecho y luego a una pequeña plaza donde encontró a un gato tomando té. El travieso felino corrió hacia otro callejón y Alicia lo persiguió. Sin aliento, Alicia llegó a una gran plaza donde se encontraban los barracones de los naipes soldados, que marchaban hacia ella. Alicia corrió y corrió hasta el final en un embarcadero. Allí una gran puerta con el rostro de una gorgona le exigió un código secreto, el código que Alicia había reunido en su viaje. Me la llevo. Y yo, muchas gracias. Vamos a hablar con
So, mademoiselle,
este hombre.
was our mysterious A.W. here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see. Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the tracks that this person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke.
Unos minutos más tarde.
2, 8, 4, 6, 9. Ese era. Pues listo. Allí está, agachado, ¿eh? ¡Adiós! Hay un tieso. Y este tiene un cuchillito en la mano.
Hey, you.
Venga.
Can't lose them.
¿Para qué le dice nada, chiquillo, cuando esté al lado? ¡Oelo! ¡Uy! Chiquillo, la ha podido coger ya antes. Mira a esta gente. Chiquillo, quitarse. Ya lo he perdido. Ya lo he perdido. Es que no sé para qué se pone la gente delante, tío. Allá. Chiquilla. Ya me he perdido otra vez. Vale, voy bien. Voy bien. No. Madre mía, qué persecución más larga. Cuando la ha podido coger ya hace un rato.
Move over.
Quitarse ya, hombre. Ahora la ha perdido. No, hombre. Ahora están todos vestidos iguales. Ahora están todos vestidos iguales.
Too many! Too many masks! The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing.
Es que eres tonta, del culo.
Yes, Detective Locke?
The murderer got away. I'm coming back. But it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first wall.
All right, I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
Ay, chiquillo. Analiza la escena del crimen. Venga. Ninerito.
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity? There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
Ahí no hay nada. No lo hemos encontrado. Aquí, ¿no? Aquí está el tieso.
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case. A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Wadi is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to his home there. Various clothes in his suitcase.
Mr. Waddy was obviously planning to leave this city.
Pues aquí tenemos
Mr.
a...
Waddy's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
¿Qué moderno se ha vuelto? Encuentra información. Nombre de pila. Aziz Guadí. Nacionalidad suizo. Ciudad Ginebra. Edad 54. ¿No? Vamos a ver. Aziz Guadí. Bagdad. Suiza. Origen Bagdad. Pero Bagdad no está aquí.
I do not
No.
think that's the right answer.
Esto es del 2018, 2028, del 78. Del 78 y estamos en 2023 en el juego. También. Me sale 45. Ajá.
My little gray cells did not let me down.
Y allí fue donde saltó la primera. A ver si se le ha caído el cuchillo. No, un pasaporte. Anda.
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark? Ratchet? How many others?
Enrico Cardo.
Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
Ah, ya. ¿Y ahora qué quiere que haga? Nuevo nodo. Dinero en la mochila. Vamos a mirarlo. Aquí. La intuición te permite sacar tus propias conclusiones. El dinero en la mochila. ¿De un trato con Cairo o del rescate del caso Armstrong? Yo diría que de un trato con Cairo, ¿eh?
This is the most likely answer.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Waddy.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
Encuentra los números de serie de los billetes en la foto del teléfono. 7649. NA. NA. 2203 G. Aquí hay uno. Este.
That's it. No rookie mistake there.
NA 880. NA. No. Vamos a mirar que aquí atrás. ¡Ay! Aquí hay un NA. 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 NA 21. Empiezan todos, ¿vale? NA 21. 7649 y 8880. Aquí hay más. NA 7649.
Score. One for the
Venga.
good guys.
Y me queda este. NA. Este no es. Este no es. Este no es. Vale, es que creí que lo podía abrir. NA. Aquí no está. Vamos a ver. MC, NC, ND. Es que aquí hay 12 y 56. Este no es. Vamos a ver. NA 6542 no es. Aquí.
That is a great detective job.
Ahí está.
Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so.
He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
Ah, there is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Wadi had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
¿Qué hay del pasaporte de Ratchet? Ratchet quería desaparecer otra vez escondiéndose tras otra identidad. El pasaporte revela la verdadera identidad de Ratchet.
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
¿Por qué el asesino no se llevó el dinero? Porque su móvil no era el dinero.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Venganza.
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Wadi from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Wadi's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
¿Quién es el asesino? La misma persona que mató a Ratchet.
I think Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me.
Del doctor, ¿no? ¿Me deja ahí a la gente? No. La niñera no tenía gafas, es el doctor Constantine.
Dr. Constantine? No, that's not it. They're the woman's glasses, and I think there's something about them. They're familiar to me
le ha dicho
somehow.
que eran
Wait,
gafas de
I
mujer.
know. I've seen these. They belong to Susan Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet, or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
Como trofeo de su víctima, como prueba farsa para el futuro.
Ratchet used to leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the same thing to frame Suzanne.
Possibly. But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder, that is the behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin, and now we find Suzanne's glasses in a bag for Ratchet.
2 objects from 2 victims of Ratchet. He is a trophy hunter.
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Waddy worked.
Waddy was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that?
Y después ya veremos.
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about, taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
¿Por qué no vio el señor Michael? Porque estaba fumando.
The 13th killer could have acted when Michel was smoking on the platform at Vinkovsky. But even after the train departed, Michel was absent from his post at the end of the corridor several times the night of the murder. I must know where he really was and when.
¿El asesino sigue en el tren? Sí.
Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
¿Cuál es la prueba de que el asesino sigue en el tren? Echó a correr en dirección a la estación de tren de Venecia. Su mejor opción para salir de Italia es el tren. En el tren no falta nadie.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Waddy had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. No. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
Claro. Mira, fueron esta, este, y esta. Había 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 10, 11 y 12. Clavado.
That's the right answer. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
Hay otro sospechoso. ¿Es Book sospechoso? No.
Good. Book worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect.
¿La señora Locke? No.
Nice.
Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Waddy's murderer.
¿El médico puede ser sospechoso? Puede ser sospechoso, pero en principio no tiene nada que ver.
Fantastic. Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Bueno, ya nos hemos quedado en
I
4.
have 4 suspects left who I must now examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
Pues nada, me va a tocar hacerlo
No
solo.
need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call for my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
Yo creo que el señor Book este, el Mr. Book este, tiene algo que ver. Aquí está la condesa, aquí está la...
Doctor, I need to question Countess Andrény.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mr. Poirot. The Countess had an anxiety attack when we arrived in Venice. She was terrified the police would come for her and her husband, despite how you concluded your investigation. I had to give her a sedative. She has been sleeping since.
You have
Descartada.
stayed with her all the time we were in Venice?
Count Andrény begged me to watch over her. I have not left this room.
You're the reason she's in this state.
Book voted to absolve you all. I accepted his verdict.
I told her. I tried to reason with her. What she has already suffered, the strain of these last few days, it was too much.
I understand, Count. It's quite all right. I have the answers I came for. Ah, Michel, I have a few more questions to ask you, if you will allow me.
Anything, Monsieur Poirot. We are in your debt.
Please tell me your movements when we were stopped at Venice Station.
Once the compartments were cleaned and the linen refreshed, I stayed in my quarters.
Did you notice anything special? Comings and goings?
Monsieur Book had asked everyone to stay in their compartments. I would occasionally walk the train to ensure everyone was comfortable. Oh, I saw Monsieur Maury was all alone loading his crates of provisions. A great chef like that, reduced to petty labor, I would have helped him. But Monsieur Book had ordered me not to leave the train for any reason. So, Monsieur Maury was forced to labor alone.
Let us review the actual timeline of the night of Ratchet's murder, not the one manufactured to hide your crime.
I left the train in Minkowski for a smoke. Then I resumed my post. That was the truth. The train departed on schedule. But then, of course, an avalanche of snow blocked the tracks. At 12:45, Madame Hubbard and I met in her compartment to discuss how to adapt our plan.
Due to the snow and Poirot.
The little play we had staged for you had to be rewritten. I left her compartment at approximately 1:15.
Then the curtain went up. Calls in the night, the red kimono, all for my benefit.
And all for nothing, as it turned out.
Do not blame yourself, Michel. I am the theater critic no playwright wants to see in the audience.
Listo. Sospechoso el señor Maury. El cocinero. Hoy no hay nadie aquí. Mira, estoy tocando el piano solo.
You play well. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. Many years of piano lessons thanks to my mother. I try to play in a few clubs in Paris when I get the chance, but as you can see, it hasn't made me rich. What can I do for you?
Conversation only.
¿Qué hizo en
Tell me
Venecia?
about your time in Venice.
I had Monsieur Book's permission to see my sister. She lives in Marghera, just outside of Venice. She had a baby a few weeks ago. This was my first chance to meet my new nephew.
Monsieur Book gave you permission?
Yes, you can ask him.
Most assuredly, I will. What time did you leave and when did you return?
I left around 9:10 p.m. I was back by 10:45 p.m. When I got back, Hotaru was in a lot of pain. I gave him a back massage.
That would have been enough time to kill Monsieur Wadi and return to the train.
Pero este es muy alto y muy delgado para hacer que estaba, ¿no?
May I see your knives?
Of course, they are here.
If you don't mind.
Help yourself. They are under the bar counter.
Ahora los veo. Cuéntame la cronología
Tell me
primero.
again about your poker game the night of the murder.
It's a regular game to help relax after a long day. Let's see, we started around 11 p.m. We took a short break in Minkowski, Hotaru, Pierre, and I. The game finished up around 2 a.m. We'd all had quite a bit to drink. Ah, yes, I left for about 10 minutes to refrigerate champagne for the next day. That must have been around 1 a.m.
Los cuchillos.
None of these come close to the wounds on either body.
Aquí no habrá nada ya, ¿eh? Vamos a tener que hablar con... ¿Y este siempre está comiendo?
You told Fauché he could go into Venice?
Marghera, actually. Not so far away. It was his only chance to see his sister. He's been working every train for weeks. There is never time to see the new baby.
Enough, Book. Your heart does you credit, but your common sense, it...
I know. But it's fine. Isn't it? He did come back.
Oh, it's fine, as you say. Unless he saw the baby, then killed someone else and returned to the train.
But that's monstrous.
Murder is always monstrous, my friend.
Venga, vamos a hablar con el cocinero. ¿Qué hay aquí? ¿Azafrán? ¿Aferrano?
Saffron. It must be worth a small fortune.
Ya ves, y tanto. Para no perder la costumbre, ¿eh? Básicamente. Le voy a abrir la nevera. Es que siempre me deja abrirla. Y siempre se la dejo abierta.
Good evening, Monsieur Mori. May I have a moment of your time? I have a few questions to ask you.
Of course, as long as you don't mind if dinner is ruined.
Pues la verdad que no me
Promise
importa
to be
mucho.
as brief as possible. What did you do while we were stopped in Venice?
With Freya's help, I loaded fresh produce for the next part of a job.
Mal.
Then,
Estuviste
you
solo.
may not believe this, but my job requires a lot of physical labor. My back suffers. Fortunately, Jean has become quite adept at separating my vertebrae.
As you
Déjame
may
ver tu
know,
cuchillo,
I
anda.
have solved the murder of Monsieur Ratchet.
That is a shame.
I beg your pardon?
The bastard sent my steak tartar back, telling John I was to burn it.
I will add it to the list of his crimes. One wound on Monsieur Ratchet's body was struck by a very sharp, thin-bladed knife. We haven't found it yet.
You think one of mine was used?
I'd like to have a look, if you don't mind.
In that drawer.
An impressive set of knives.
El
The
jamonero.
blades are too wide to have been used for the crime.
Tell me about your poker game the night of the murder.
We started around 11 p.m. when John finished his shift. We played until around 2 a.m. From what I remember, it's a bit vague.
You played without a break.
Actually, we did break once for a smoke. John, Pierre, and I. When we stopped in Vinkovsky
When was that?
around midnight.
Y me queda interrogar a la otra señorita, que seguramente esté donde los equipajes. Mira, aquí no había podido entrar antes.
It
Puzzle.
is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the word in Japanese? Tamoe. And it's obviously missing a piece.
Le falta una pieza, pues la tendremos que buscar, ¿no? Ve, aquí está esta mujer, siempre está aquí.
Good evening, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, Mr. Poirot. I'm not going to bed right away.
Can you tell me your movements while we were stopped in Venice?
That'll be easy. I didn't move much at all. Let's see. I helped Hotaru load all of the food crates aboard the train.
Bueno, decía que
Hotaru
Hotaru lo
had
estaba haciendo
everything he
solo.
needed, but I realized they forgot half of my
Ha
order.
dicho el
I spent
revisor.
over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Déjame ver los cuchillos.
Constantine found a stab wound on Ratchet's body that was caused by a much thinner and sharper blade than the others.
Possibly a chef's knife?
My thought precisely.
And you'd like to see my knives?
If you wouldn't mind.
I would gladly show you if I had any, but I don't. I use the regular kitchen knives. You may search if you don't believe me.
I see.
All the knives the staff use are in the kitchen or in the lounge, except
Except
Hotaru prefers to use his own.
Monsieur Mori doesn't use the kitchen knives?
Not usually. I know he keeps a set of traditional Japanese knives in a box in his room. He doesn't let anyone else use them. Although now that I think of it, he has been using the kitchen knives lately.
Ay, amigo.
Can you tell me exactly about your poker game the night of the murder?
We started around 11 p.m. In Vinkovsky, we took a short break. Hotaru and Pierre went outside to smoke. Oh, and Hotaru got sick around a few minutes past 1 a.m. 1:10 a.m., maybe. He spent about 15 minutes in the bathroom, but he didn't want to quit on a losing streak.
Did his luck improve?
No, so we played to around 2 a.m. He lost every hand.
I've talked to everyone, but
No,
some
con
elements
todos
of the
no.
testimonies do not seem to correspond. I need to recheck a few things.
La coartada. Selecciona 2 elementos que den a los empleados una coartada para la hora del asesinato.
No, not good. Think, Poirot. That is not a good
No.
answer.
Vale. Ahora, no bajo del tren, así que estaba sola en la dependencia de los empleados. Este no estuvo vigilando.
I do not
No.
think that's the right answer.
Este vomitó en torno a la 1:10. Y este...
I must admit I'm
Oh,
not right this time.
Monsieur puso a enfriar champán sobre la 0:55. Monsieur Miche estuvo en la habitación. No pudo. Claro, no pudo. No pudo hacerlo. Y esto ya por descarte, ¿no?
Any of the 3 staff members had the opportunity to kill Ratchet when Monsieur Michel wasn't watching the hallway. Et voilà.
Pues ahora sí tengo que hablar contigo. ¿Ay, no hay nada nuevo? ¿Y dónde está la pieza que me falta entonces? Ah, que pues ahora me deja abrir esto, ¿vale? Ah, espérate, ¿esto qué es?
Unos minutos más tarde.
Ahí tengo la
An
pieza.
object that looks like a broken comma. It must be part of something else.
Ponga usted la pieza ahí. Ahí.
Colteria Venezia.
¿Y todos lo tienen?
Sushi knives.
El de Venecia. Es que por la forma del cuchillo ha dicho afilado y largo. Digo, tiene que ser ese.
I'm sorry, Monsieur Mori, but haven't you forgotten something? You haven't told me about the knives hidden in your room.
Ha! Yes, indeed. I forgot to
Qué
tell you
casualidad,
about
que se olvidó de eso.
They are my personal knives. I only use these knives. There are none better. I bought them all in Japan. No one is allowed to touch them except me.
¿Cuál de estas frases contiene una mentira? Son mis cuchillos personales, eso es verdad. Solo uso eso, no hay ninguno mejor. Les compré todo en Japón. Esta es la mentira.
I'm afraid you are better at sushi than lying.
Porque uno la compró en Venecia.
What do you mean?
Selecciona un elemento que la herida esta.
One of the knives has an inscription, Coltelleria Venezia. Did you happen to go shopping tonight, monsieur?
Damn you, Poirot. Very well. One of my sushi knives has been missing Since the night of the murder, I thought you were going to believe I killed Ratchet. He routinely sent back my dishes to be ruined. Why does God give rich people the money to afford the best cuisine, but not the palate to appreciate it? I panicked. I know a very good store in Venice. I went to buy a knife to replace the one that had gone missing. So, I wouldn't be accused. I assure you that.
Pero puedes soltar cuchillo para hablarme, por favor.
I would have an easier time believing you, monsieur, if you put that knife down.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
What time did you leave on your little shopping trip?
I left around 9:30 p.m. I was back a little after 11. 11:15 p.m.
Time enough to stab Monsieur
Hombre, y
Mori
tanto.
and return.
Very well, Monsieur Mori. That's all for now. If I have another question...
I'll be right here, cooking.
Ah, pues sí.
Remind me of what you did when the train stopped in Venice.
No problem. I helped Hotaru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hotaru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier, without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Vamos a ver, ¿cuál es la frase que contiene una mentira? Cargué toda la caja de comida con Hotaru. Me di cuenta que se olvidaron la mitad de mi pedido. Me pasé una hora al teléfono hablando con el proveedor. Tuve que cambiar postre para mañana. Yo creo que esta, ¿no? La que se pegó una hora al teléfono, ¿no?
Oh,
no, esa no es.
Truth cannot hide from Poirot forever. That does not prove she's lying.
Entonces, ¿qué cargó las cajas? Pues la cargó el otro solo.
I believe you're hiding the truth from me.
What makes you say that?
Selecciona un elemento que pruebe que estás mintiendo. El testimonio del señor Faucher y de Mori, de los dos.
Monsieur Faucher did not see you helping Monsieur Mori.
He couldn't have. He wasn't there.
Indeed, Monsieur Faucher did not mention seeing Miss Nielsen or Monsieur Mori.
Monsieur Mori was loading crates of food on the train.
Yes, I helped him. You can ask him yourself.
It's true. Monsieur Mori told me that Miss Nielsen did help him.
Michel saw Monsieur Mori carrying the crates of food alone. You weren't on the platform.
I did help Hotaru.
The entire time? He carried so many crates, his back was sore.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm guilty. I did leave him before we were finished. But I had to. There was no saffron he needed for a recipe. I volunteered to go into Venice and get him some. The Rialto market would be open late because of the carnival. He gave me money. I knew we weren't supposed to leave the train, but I only wanted to help. Mr. Mori can confirm this. Ask him. I saved dinner.
Pero si él también salió a comprar.
Palette, I thank you. How long were you gone?
I left at 9:10 p.m. and was back with the saffron around 11. That's when I called my supplier for the items I was missing.
Él también salió a comprar, que fue a comprar los cuchillos.
Miss Nielsen had almost 2 hours to buy the saffron, find a costume, kill Monsieur Wadi, elude Detective Locke, and make it back to the train for that phone call. Yes, it's possible that was enough time.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Nielsen. That is all for now.
Sorry again, Mr. Poirot. I hope you enjoy tonight's dessert.
Bueno, pues ya hemos hecho lo que nos pedían. ¿Ahora qué? Coartadas en Venecia. Vámonos, al lío. Vale.
I'm right again. That happens to me.
Son los 3 que salieron del tren, vale. Ya hemos descartado, ya hemos quitado uno. La inspectora Locke, que está hablando por teléfono. Imaginamos que en su habitación, ¿no? Que era la 105, si no recuerdo mal.
Another golden mustache to treasure.
La memoria no me ha fallado todavía.
What have you been doing?
Siempre está este aquí.
I am completely in the dark.
Este tiene algo que ver. Desde el principio lo dije.
Situation, my friend. I have 3 new suspects who could have killed Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Fauché, and Monsieur Maury. They all had periods of time during both murders to commit the deed, and their alibis are weak. A visit to family, and not 1, but 2 shopping trips.
But all are my employees.
Alas, yes, my dear book. But we have no proof against any of them. None of the 3 appears to have any motive whatsoever.
But this is a tragedy.
Do not give up hope. We will catch this murderer. There is still one place that may hold the evidence we need.
Geneva.
Exact.
Do not give up hope? Well, that's easy for you to say. But what if it's Freya? What becomes of dessert? If it's Sotaru, who will cook? Me? And the worst, if it's Jean, who will serve the drinks?
I've been checking up on the
Este se hace muy bien
I
el
had to
tonto.
confirm my identity for Interpol, so they contacted my captain at the Berkshire Police.
I suspect he was not pleased.
That my vacation was actually an unofficial investigation? I'll say.
I would be happy to speak to him on your behalf.
Thank you, but he'll get over it. It's a chance to close the books on the Armstrong kidnapping. He stopped yelling, asked for a report, then granted me an extra week.
Excellent. What did you learn from Interpol about the Banque du Lac?
It's had a bad reputation for over a century. Customers have included the mafia, Nazis, corporate swindlers of every description, even heads of state.
It is true, this. It is the worst-kept secret in banking. They take advantage of the bank's strict policy of protecting the anonymity of its clients. This is in defiance of many laws from multiple countries, including Switzerland itself. Of course, I have never taken advantage of such a corrupt system.
That goes without saying, my friend.
There are ongoing investigations, subpoenas, court orders. The bank will eventually have to comply, or its assets may be seized. But until then, it still thrives, thanks to its wealthy and powerful clients.
It sounds perfect for the late Monsieur Ratchet. Do you have any ideas?
The serial numbers from some of the bills match those from the Armstrong kidnapping. We agreed in Venice that the bulk of the money must still be physically in the bank's vault.
I concur, Detective Locke. Exemplary work. So, our next task is clear. We need to get into Ratchet's safety deposit box.
There will be codes, passwords.
And Monsieur Wadi would, of course, have known them all. The bag of money he carried is proof of that.
We'll need to find information about Ratchet's box in Wadi's office at the bank.
Most assuredly, but remember the secrecy involved. I doubt his office will contain all we need. Where else must we dig?
¿Dónde puedo encontrar información de la caja fuerte? En el diario.
No, not good. There was nothing helpful in Ratchet's diary.
En el apartamento. No veo si queda todavía tiempo de juego.
Voilà.
Y yo me creía que habíamos
Mr. Wadi
terminado.
couldn't keep all of his secrets at the bank. Hopefully we'll find something in his apartment. We already have his address thanks to his passport, and his keys we retrieved from his body.
The train stops in Lausanne at 8 a.m. But that's far from Geneva. I can delay the departure until 11 a.m. No later. The police are expecting us in Paris by the end of the afternoon, at the latest. They won't tolerate any delay.
The bank doesn't open until 9. I can see only one way that gives us a chance to be on time. Let's take a taxi. I checked a map. It should take us less than an hour to get to Geneva from Lausanne, which leaves us just enough time to access that safety deposit box. We have no choice if we want to be back to the train by 11 a.m. The best thing is to separate. One of us searches his apartment, the other searches his office. To access the safety deposit box, we need to find the key, the box number, and the passcode.
Suppose you find all this. How do you plan to get into the vault?
We are going to use the bank's anonymity policy to our advantage.
And the quickest way is for you to impersonate Ratchet.
I would rather impersonate Jack the Ripper, but in the interest of justice, I will do it.
We need to find the account number.
Along with everything else.
I will say I want access to the vault. They don't ask for papers or even names. The vault information is enough.
I'm not hearing any of this. I run a train company. I don't rob banks.
Perfect. Let's recap the plan.
Recapitulemos. Ordena correctamente los pasos del plan. Ir a Ginebra en taxi. Separarse. Registrar el despacho y el apartamento. Encontrar la información. Reunirse en el banco. Suplantarlo y abrir la caja.
That was easy.
To sum up, we're going by taxi to Geneva. Then we'll split up. You're going to search Mr. Wadi's apartment. I'll search the office at the bank. When we have all the information we need, you pretend to be Ratchet, and we can finally find out what Ratchet is keeping hidden in his safety deposit box.
It sounds impossible.
Not for Detective Joanna Locke and Hercule Poirot.
We should get some rest.
You are right, Detective. We face our greatest challenge tomorrow. Together.
Nine o'clock. Our driver did well. It took barely an hour to get here from Lausanne.
But we must conclude our business in 1 hour as well. Book can only hold the train until 11 o'clock.
1 hour to find the key of Ratchet's safety deposit box, the box number, and its passcode. A lot to ask.
Indeed, which is why we must split our forces. I will take the cab to Monsieur Wadi's address. You must search his office.
I have you on speed dial. And thank you, Mr. Poirot.
For what?
Venga, vamos allá.
For trusting me.
Bueno, vamos al lío. Tenemos que encontrar el despacho. Por lo tanto, le vamos a preguntar a esta amable señorita.
You there. I have an appointment with Mr. Wadi.
Let me check. I'm sorry, I don't see any appointments this morning at all. Mr. Wadi hasn't even arrived yet. Although he should be here by now.
Even though your customers are anonymous, considering the amount of money involved, you should still have a mention of a meeting.
Yes, I can't understand it. I'll be sure to ask Mr. Wadi when he arrives. In the meantime, you are more than welcome to wait in his
Maravilloso.
office. I'll see you're not disturbed. Please follow me.
Venga, yo te sigo. Pero podría ir usted una miguita más rápido, señora. El que está abierto, ¿ok?
Please come in. I can't understand where Mr. Wadi might be.
¿Te imaginas que me encierra?
You're right. I don't have much time at all.
Bigote.
Shiny facial hair. The good news is that it's gold. It's closed.
¿Gente quién son? del 9 del 2018.
I'm taking a picture of it. I'll send it to Poirot. It might be useful to him. Alice in Wonderland.
Mira, Alicia.
Mr. Wadi
La que nos ha dado Alicia para encontrar el código, ¿eh?
need the password. Maybe Poirot can help me.
Vale. Venga, ¿y cómo lo llamo? Ah.
I managed to get into Wadi's office. I did a quick preliminary search. Everything is locked, including his computer. All I could find was a photo with a date on it. I just sent it to you. Maybe you can use it.
Thank you. That might help. I've just arrived at the apartment. I'll call you when I find something.
Vale.
As quick as you can. I can't stay here long.
Acabo de entender que ahora se van a ir cambiando. Cada vez que haga llamadas se van a ir cambiando. Y este le va a dar información a la otra y la otra le va a dar información a este.
This is definitely not Monsieur Wadi's apartment. Ah, here we are. Let's see if the key I picked up in Monsieur Wadi's luggage in Venice will open his door.
Great.
Adentro. Bigote.
Haha! Golden mustache.
El baño era para encontrar un bigote nada más. Reúnete conmigo en Venecia el 18 de diciembre a las 10. Confirma la cita enviándome una postal con el lugar de encuentro. Tráeme 50 fajos, el pasaporte italiano y las gafas rojas. Como siempre, he cambiado el código. El nuevo es... Mira en la edición antigua de 1865 en las páginas 88, 91, 94, 96, 98. R. Ratchet.
The key to the password is close. I can feel it.
Pues esto hay que decírselo a... Un dardo.
A dart. A familiar projectile found in any pub in England.
Me lo llevo. Aquí está. Páginas, dijo. Mira. 3, 3. Tres, tres, nueve. 6. 3, 3, 9, 6. 3, 3, 9, 6. Tres, 3, 9, 6, ya está. No puede ser, eran 5 números, ¿no? Necesitaré algo seguramente, ¿no? Ajá, aquí está la pirámide.
That may be useful to Mademoiselle Locke or me. I'll take a photo. This computer won't give up its secrets easily.
Nah, este está tieso.
A bizarre endgame to be sure, but I suspect checkmate is possible for white in 3 moves.
En 3 movimientos. ¿Qué hago? ¿Abro? No, esto no es. El ajedrez se me da regular a mí, ¿eh? Y pongo en jaque al rey. Ahí. Y ya el rey no se puede mover. Como se mueva, está muerto.
That's the right answer.
Eso lo tenemos. Están llamando. ¿Abro o no abro?
Staring at the clock won't help, Poirot.
Este es el de la foto. Este es el de la foto.
Who are you? What are you doing in there?
I am Hercule Poirot. I am working with the police. You are Monsieur Wadi's neighbor?
Yes, next door. I heard a noise. I
No.
thought it was Mr. Wadi who had come home. I
Tú
don't
eres
know
el
him very
marido.
well. A delivery man left a package for him with me.
Pasa, pasa. Pasa, que te ha tocado la manita. ¿Cuál es de la frase? Vivo al lado. Oí un ruido y creí que era el señor Wadi, que había vuelto a casa. No lo conozco muy bien. No lo conozco muy bien.
You don't know your neighbor very well.
Yes, what of it?
El marco de fotos de la
How is
oficina.
it that Monsieur Wadi has a picture of you on his desk? There is quite a family resemblance. You wouldn't be his
¿El hermano?
brother by any chance.
Why are you going through his things?
As I told you, I am working with the police.
All right, yes. I'm his brother.
Ah, el hermano. El
Medio
que se ha
Wadi.
tocado y parece que se estaba
Do
tocando
you know
un
where he
anillo.
is?
I am very sorry, sir, but I have some terrible news for you. Your brother has been murdered. You have my sincere condolences.
Oh no. Aziz. My wife. My son. Their hearts will break. Everything he did was for his family. He brought us here from Iraq to give my son a better future. We can't go back. You won't. You won't.
Do not fret, Monsieur Wadi. I do not want to cause trouble for you and your family. I am here to catch his murderer. When did you last see your brother?
2 days ago. He was on his way to Venice. It was not a journey he was looking forward to. I knew something was wrong, but he promised all would be well soon. My son will be heartbroken. Aziz made a point of reading to Fadi every night so he could learn English. We hope to legally emigrate there one day.
Your son, Fadi. What did Monsieur Wadi read to him?
His favorite book is Alice in Wonderland. The nonsense of it all. Why?
It is the answer to a question I had. I believe your brother was a good man, forced for some reason to keep secrets, and that got him killed.
Sir, there is something else. Aziz left me a letter to open if anything should happen to him.
Could you show it to me?
Yes, I will get it.
¿Volverá? Sí. Hermano, un hombre llamado Rashe me vio en el banco. Amenazó con matarte a ti y a tu familia para obligarme a hacer cosas ilegales. Me dice, si muero violentamente, este hombre será el responsable. Envía un mensaje anónimo a la policía. Háblales de su caja fuerte en el Banc du Lac. Su número de cuenta bancaria es el 82664. Ellos sabrán qué hacer. Adiós, hermano mío. Darles recuerdo a Aisha y Hadi. Os deseo a todos una vida plena.
It all makes sense. It's hard.
82664.
But to Ratchet, it would be just business as usual. At least I have Ratchet's account number, 82664.
Thank you for giving me this letter. Let me assure you, the man Ratchet cannot harm you. He was killed before your brother was.
Really? Who did it?
The one you say hunted Ratchet?
Yes, without a doubt. I promise you I will find them.
Sir, we have no papers. The police...
Your secret is safe with me, monsieur.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, I must go to my wife and son. Tonight, I will read to Fadi from Alice in Wonderland, and we will remember my brother.
I need to notify Mademoiselle Locke that I have Ratchet's bank account number.
Ah, the peculiar habit some people have of displaying things on the door of their refrigerator. I've just sent a photo to you, in case it might help you.
Thank you.
I texted Ratchet's account number to you.
Wonderful.
Venga. La foto la tendremos en el inventario, ¿no? Bueno, pero imagino que entrando aquí, ¿no? Y yo buscando en la foto de la torre, ¿vale? Arriba una ventana redonda, abajo una ventana cuadrada. Dos redonditas. Venga. Arriba una ventana redonda. Esa. Ahora aquí una cuadrada, esta está bien. Ahora aquí son dos en este lado. Ahí. Aquí no me he fijado. Creo que era este. Ah, que puedo hacerlo del tirón. Cuadrado allí y dos allí, vale. Aquí cuadrado aquí y aquí dos allí. Esa es. Joder, qué trabajito me está costando abrirlo. La llave del cajón.
Key. I wonder if it will fit the desk drawer.
¿Para qué coge esto otra vez, hombre? Venga, ¿qué hay aquí? Un lápiz. Un papel. ¿Y por qué no pasa el lápiz por el papel? Vale. Aquí lo tenemos. Me ha dicho página 88, el 3. Página 91, el 4. Página 94, el 9. Página 96. Quieto. No hay ninguno. En la 96 no hay ninguna. Y en la 98... Aquí tampoco. Vamos a llamar a este. A ver si los otros dos números están allí.
Mr. Poirot, how are you doing?
I have little to report, but keep looking.
Vamos a ver. Me faltan la 98, la 96 y la 98. ¿Y cuál es? Espérate que me he perdido, ¿eh? 93, 94, 95, 96, es el 6. 96, 97 y 98. Esta es la 98 que me falta un número. 3, 4, 9, 6. Y tiramos de lo que siempre hacemos. Aquí. Ah, no puedo, espérate. Que tengo que salir de aquí. Mira. 1, 2, 3. 3. 4, 9, 6, 2. Ahí está. 98 era el 2.
That's the right answer.
Venga. Accede al ordenador del despacho, yo qué sé. Ah, espérate, que me queda... Aquí me queda una habitación, ¿eh? Ojo. Yo no he entrado aquí. El reloj, ¿qué le
Staring
pasa?
at the clock won't help, Poirot.
Cuadro nada. Ahí hay un cajón. Venga.
This could be the password to Monsieur Waddy's office computer. He must change it every month. It seems to have a logical sequence, but I need to find the one for December.
Pues si tú le encuentras la lógica. 193 5193.
If that's the computer in Monsieur Waddy's office, we still need to translate the Arabic characters. And there weren't any Arabic characters on the office computer's keyboard. I wonder if the computer in Monsieur Waddy's office has a similar Arabic keyboard.
That was easy.
Bueno, fácil. Señores, 1000 me gusta, me merezco nada más que por eso, ¿eh?
I believe I have discovered Ratchet's safety deposit box passcode.
We're almost there.
Es que aquí lo del cajón, tío, me tiene a mí súper desconcertado. Porque puedo coger el lápiz y el papel que no me deja hacer nada. Ah, a trasluz lo tenía que mirar. Madre mía, venga. Que lo tenía que mirar a trasluz, ¿vale? Esto es lo que yo quería hacer de primera hora, pero hasta que no mirara a trasluz, pues... me iba como un truño.
I'll send a picture of this to Poirot.
Pero con el lápiz quitado, ¿no? Vale. Pues listo, yo aquí no tengo más nada que hacer.
I sent you a photo of doodles I found on a notepad. I hope it can help you.
I hope so as well.
La Diana.
I think this
Adiós.
belongs here.
Venga, ahí. Ahora. Negros y blancos. Esto es el ajedrez. Esto es el ajedrez. A8, A7 y B7. ¿Qué son estos? A8. B8. ¿No era? No. A8, A7, A7, A7 y B8. B8. ¿No era? A8, A7, B7. No, B7. 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 Y ahora los blancos. D8, A6, D5. A6, D8, D5. A6, D8, D5. A6, D8, D5. L. Contraseña de la caja fuerte.
This keyboard should help me translate this code.
¿Qué código? Ah, este era el de la... El de la contraseña. Ah. A ver. Ah. Espérate, tengo que buscar este símbolo que está aquí, que es una R. R. Este que está aquí, que es una A. Este que está aquí, que es una P. Este que está aquí, que es una F. Y este que está aquí, es una E.
Arabic is read from right to left, so the password must surely be read that way too. With any luck, this will unlock the computer in Monsieur Wadi's office. Let me text it to Miss Locke.
Vale. No veo.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Difícil esto, ¿eh? Venga. Eso es para el ordenador del despacho.
Did you receive my text? This must be the password to Mr. Wadi's computer.
I have it. Thank you.
Vamos a ver. ¿Qué hace? 3. F9. P1. A5. R. Número de cuenta. Número de cuenta 82664. 82664.
The number of Ratchet's safety deposit box. At last. I should let Mr. Poirot know.
Tiene menos dinero que el que está en la ducha, ¿no? Saldo actual 0, ¿no? Yo aquí he terminado ya, ¿eh? Esto es lo único que me ha mandado. Yo diría que 4, 1, 5, 3, 6, 8, almohadilla.
It looks
La
like
llave.
a safe key to me. We finally found it.
Este lo hemos terminado. Por lo tanto, llama a tu camarada.
Good news. I have found the key to Ratchet's safe.
Perfect. We're running out of time. Do we have everything?
I have the key to the safety deposit box.
I have the number of the box.
And we have the passcode. I'm on my way. Time to rob a bank.
Venga. Vámonos.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I haven't heard from Monsieur Wadi. You'll have to reschedule with him.
This is quite annoying. I'll have to reschedule.
Absolutely. I hope I have been of service.
You have no idea.
Hora de convertirse
Yes, I am, Monsieur
en
Ratchet.
Ratchet.
But with the bank's questionable policy, I do not expect anyone to ask.
Right. Absolute secrecy regarding their clients. The last Swiss bank of its kind.
Madame, I still haven't heard from Mr. Waddy.
Well, we'll have to make do without him, now that my friend is here. It's his box we want to access.
And the clock is ticking. I trust there is no problem.
No, no problem at all. May I have your safety deposit box number?
4346.
May I see your key? Do you know your passcode?
Yes. Mademoiselle will be able to accompany me? No names, of course.
Of course. I'll open the door. Go down the stairs. The guard will accompany you.
Venga, vamos a ver qué hay en la caja. Y decía yo que podían quedar 2 minutos, ¿vale? Y llevamos ya 3 horas.
Please leave your personal belongings in this bin and then go through the portal.
Ella tiene pinta que se va a quedar fuera, ¿ok? Ah, pues no.
I'll open it for you.
At last, we reach our goal.
Now I will insert my key, if you allow.
Thank you.
Y el código. El código era 34962.
I'll be by the door should you need any assistance.
Muy bien.
At last.
I suspect the effort will be worth it. This collection of various personal items. Do you know what they are, Detective Locke?
I do, Mr. Poirot. God help me, I do. Souvenirs. The trophies serial killers take from their victims to remind them of their kills. Ratchet wasn't just a kidnapper.
No, indeed. He was a monster.
Me llama mucho.
One on the left. Ratchet.
Whoever he is with, their friendship seems over.
The build. The hair. It could be Noah, his partner in Daisy's kidnapping.
It appears they had a falling out.
He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced. The rest of the Armstrong ransom money. The serial numbers match.
Menos mal que no me ha hecho de buscarlo.
MC. The real journalist Michael Clark. Ratchet would have needed to kill him to assume his identity.
Madre
he took his
mía.
ring as his trophy.
Another victim.
Valentín.
Another trophy. A woman. We may never know her name. You were lucky, mademoiselle, when you met him at that cabin in the forest, alone.
How many victims do you think Ratchet had?
Too many. I wonder who this keychain belonged to. Certainly not Ratchet.
Diamante.
Diamonds.
A fortune. Crime does pay.
No, mademoiselle. This time it was the criminal who finally paid. For every soul Ratchet claimed, even more are suffering. Another trophy. We may never know how many people he killed. Another bracelet. Another victim.
Another trophy. And then there's the one that we already found, Suzanne's red glasses. 4 years of investigation. It's all over. I finally have the last piece of evidence that Ratchet was Daisy's kidnapper and murderer.
More than that, you have helped unmask a serial killer responsible for so many deaths.
But even with all this, we're no closer to solving Ratchet's murder.
On the contrary, mademoiselle, everything. It is coming together. Don't you agree,
A mí no me lo parece.
What?
The damaged photograph.
It could be Noah. You think Noah killed Ratchet for revenge?
The train.
What about the train?
I know how a killer could vanish without leaving a trace in the snow.
Noah et Monsieur Book.
Camouflage. The trophies.
Poirot, we have a train to catch.
Not just a train, Detective Locke. We have a murderer to catch.
Poirot, enough! You have kept us in suspense ever since we left Lausanne.
Forgive me, my friend. Detective Locke and I needed the time to put the last pieces of the puzzle in their proper places.
I'll fill in where I can, but this is Mr. Poirot's show.
I confess I can't help, but I feel a certain déjà vu.
You are correct, Doctor. We have been here before. However, without you, we wouldn't have been able to reach the true conclusion of this story.
Ahora sí, ¿no? Ahora estamos ya en la parte final, ¿no? Venga,
My
atención.
friends, your attention, please. I hope you have finished your dessert. You have every right to think the solution to the murder of Ratchet is a closed book. You are wrong. I, Poirot, admit that I was wrong. There is a final chapter.
What in bloody hell?
What does he mean? Perhaps if we are silent, Monsieur Poirot will explain.
Most of us naturally expect a journey by train to proceed in an orderly fashion from station to station. But this journey has gone off the rails. A comfortable journey, which should have been restful, turned out to be quite a challenge for my little gray cells. I beg your indulgence. I know it will be painful, but I must update you on the strange turn the Ratchet murder investigation has taken. I had two hypotheses, as you recall. A stranger boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then exited the train unobserved. That was the first possibility. The second solution gave us 12 jurors who condemned Ratchet to death for the kidnapping and murder of Daisy Armstrong. My friend, Book, properly chose the first solution for the authorities. However, thanks to Dr. Constantine here, a 13th stab wound was discovered, throwing that solution into disarray. Moreover, the words of a witness called into question the chronology of the night of the murder upon which the first two solutions were based. Detective Locke?
Venga. Mr. Book.
No, Mr. Book's testimony confirmed that the murderer was still on the train after Venice. That's all.
Oh, por mi teoría el garete.
Michael admitted to having been absent several times during the night. His absence therefore gave multiple opportunities for a 13th murderer to slip into Ratchet's room before the other 12 jurors lined up to stab him.
You are saying the man Ratchet was when we...
Yes, you executed a man who was already dead. But there were other suspects that night.
Other suspects? Who?
They stand before you. Mr. Fauché, Mr. Maury, and Ms. Nielsen. And they all also had a hole in their stories about their movements that night. Mr. Poirot?
Most of you don't know it, but there was a second murder in Venice.
Mein Gott, another murder.
The victim was a man named Aziz Wadi, a banker in Geneva who was on the payroll of Ratchet. He looked after the money Ratchet obtained from the Armstrong ransom. Ratchet needed money and arranged to meet Mr. Wadi in Venice. One of these three knew about that money. Now, each of them had an alibi, of a sort. But if any of their alibis was a lie, that person had time to murder Monsieur Wadi. Monsieur Fauché, Mademoiselle Nielsen, and Monsieur Maury. One of you murdered Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi.
Are you kidding? I pour drinks for our guests. I don't murder them.
It's nonsense!
You are accusing me because of my knives?
But why would one of my employees kill Ratchet?
No, es que yo creo que es el señor Book. ¿Es la muerte de Daisy el móvil del 13º asesinato? Sí. Pues no.
Think, Joanna.
La primera intención es la que vale.
The killer's motive for killing Ratchet was revenge, but not for Daisy's death. The motive for Aziz Wadi's murder was also revenge. Mr. Wadi was helping Ratchet.
Ratchet had an accomplice in the kidnapping named Noah. They kidnapped Daisy together. Ratchet stored the ransom money in a Swiss bank that protected anonymous clients. He forced Monsieur Wadi to watch over the money. Once enough time had passed, Ratchet felt it was safe to have Monsieur Wadi bring him cash whenever Ratchet needed it.
The serial numbers of the bills would still be in a file, but no one would be actively checking it.
Precisely. But Ratchet didn't just keep the ransom in his safety deposit box. There was something much worse.
Aparte del rescate, ¿qué más había en la caja fuerte? Trofeos de las víctimas.
Something much worse than Daisy's ransom money in that safety deposit box. During her investigation, Detective Locke found evidence proving that Ratchet was what is known as a trophy killer. He kept souvenirs of his crimes. We found trophies in the safety deposit box. There were others in a cabin Ratchet used in the Berkshire Mountains, including a beloved toy of little Daisy's.
If I'd have known that, I would have cut the bastard's head off.
La pulsera, ¿vale? Ah, la tiene puesta, joder.
My little gray cells did not let me down.
The bracelet found in the safety deposit box was also on Noah's wrist in a photograph. It's obvious Ratchet killed Noah, and therefore, at last, I can tell you with absolute certainty who the murderer of Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi is.
Yo sigo diciendo que es Mr. Book. Pues bueno, señorita.
That doesn't prove anything.
Mademoiselle Nielsen has the same bracelet as the one found in the safety deposit box in Geneva. A trophy from a victim of Ratchet. Noah.
Having a similar bracelet doesn't prove anything.
Yes, that might be true, if there were not an inscription on it.
Mr. Poirot, you're right. The bracelet looks similar to mine, but I have no idea what the marks on it mean. I just like the design.
The marks are not random, mademoiselle. These are special bracelets. They are called Morse code bracelets. Because, well, you know why. The marks
No voy a tener yo que
are
descifrar
Morse
ahora un código Morse, ¿no?
Happily, I learned Morse when I was a young
Pues sí.
man doing my service for the Belgian army.
Madre mía. Ahora. 1, 2. Esta es la primera, ¿no? No. No. Ah, vale. Vamos a ver. Esta tiene que ser la primera. ¿No? F. Ahora. Porque el cierre está aquí y va para allá. Esta. Ahora esta. Esta. Ahora. ¿Esto es un punto solo? Sí, un punto solo. Este que es un punto y 3 rayitas. Reija. Es la última. Es el nombre de ella.
Et voilà. On the bracelet found in Ratchet's safety deposit box was the name Freya in Morse code. Your first name. It belonged to your father, Noah. Noah Nielsen. Let's stop playing this little game, mademoiselle. What does yours say? Noah?
It says father. Ratchet, that bastard. He kept my father's bracelet as a trophy.
Thank you. I have to admit your timing for Ratchet's murder was perfect. Do you mind if I continue?
Would it matter? Go ahead. You've earned the right to crow.
I do not make bird sounds, mademoiselle. I take no pleasure in this. You drugged Ratchet's dessert to ensure he would be unconscious when you went to his room. You stole a knife from Monsieur Maury. If it was identified as the murder weapon, he would be accused. You knew Pierre Michel would leave the train for a smoke whenever it was stopped at a station. At Vinkovsky, you waited until he was on the station platform. Then, you carefully made your way along the first-class corridor to Ratchet's room. You entered Ratchet's room with the pass key, accessible to all employees in the crew quarters. You stabbed Ratchet at midnight.
But that knife, where is it?
Probably thrown out of Ratchet's window before the train left the station. A thorough search after the snow melts should turn it up.
My beautiful knife.
Ni este que lo que le importa es el cuchillo.
You carefully returned to the crew quarters, replaced the passkey, and returned to your poker game. Et voilà. The affair was not so complicated in the end. But what made the crime seem more complex? Well...
It was us.
Exactly. The 12 jurors who proceeded to carry out their far more complicated plan literally in the dark without realizing that the man was already dead.
Speaking only for myself, of course, but I believe we would have invited you to join us.
Ms. Nielsen, you killed Ratchet because he killed your father. Your motive is crystal clear. But why did you kill Aziz Wadi?
It's because of Aziz that my father died. My father knew Aziz was the only one with access to Ratchet's safe, so he convinced Aziz to steal the money from the safety deposit box. But Aziz was too afraid of Ratchet. Instead, he betrayed my father by reporting him to Ratchet. Obviously, Ratchet then murdered my father. Aziz was just as guilty of my father's death as Ratchet.
Ratchet was the worst of humanity. But Monsieur Wadi, if you knew his story...
My father is dead because of him.
I will not debate the point with you, mademoiselle. He had done nothing to justify his death. I do not see any extenuating circumstances that should allow you to escape justice. You will be arrested at the Gare de Lyon when we arrive in Paris.
Judge and jury are you, Monsieur Poirot. And you get away with it. It must be nice. But think of this. I know what you did. What you all did.
She's right. She could turn us all in.
Relax. Hector, is it? Your secret is safe with me. I'm not going to jail. Farewell, Poirot. Enjoy your victory. Stop.
Mira esta, ¿dónde va? Que se va a tirar, mira, se va a tirar. Con un palo va a dar.
No, Freya, don't jump. You're going to die.
I've made my choice. We'll let fate decide.
No!
Venga. Pues hasta luego.
She jumped off the train. Even if she hit the water, considering the height, I doubt she survived. And with this tunnel, either way, she's gone, Poirot.
Bueno, pues ahora sí, ¿no?
I still can't believe what happened. 13 people took revenge on the same person. This investigation is so incredible. It almost looks like a detective story.
It would surely be a bestseller. It is true that this case will remain as one of the most important investigations of my career.
My only regret will be that I couldn't bring Ratchet to justice, but I can finally close this chapter of my life.
Your determination paid off. You can be proud of yourself.
I think we'll be arriving in Paris soon.
If you will pardon me, Detective Locke, I have to settle a few details with Monsieur Bouc before we arrive.
Please, go ahead.
A ver, porque este me tiene a mí mosqueado.
I still can't believe Freya was the killer. She never even cheated when we played poker.
She used too much sugar.
Nonsense! Her desserts were divine.
Unfortunately, her actions were not so divine.
There you are, my friend.
Bouc, I have a favor to ask.
Anything.
When we arrive in Paris, will you speak to the police? I would rather keep a low profile.
But why?
Bouc, my first solution was incorrect.
Nonsense. The nuttier the mystery became, the greater your brilliance.
Please.
Very well, if you insist.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, for your service. The cuisine. Under difficult conditions, you surpass the reputation of the Orient Express.
That is true.
I look forward to seeing you again abroad, Monsieur Poirot. I promise, not all of our trips are this eventful.
Princess Dragomirov would like a word with you, Monsieur Poirot. It is important. She is waiting for you in her compartment.
Qué pesada hablar, así que yo no podía terminar ya y ya la he descubierto todo.
Count Andrigny, how is the Countess?
Much better now that it's all over. I misjudged you, Poirot.
And I you.
There is something else about my wife you should know. Why I am so overprotective.
She is pregnant.
You are quite the detective.
Actually, Dr. Constantine told me. She admitted as much when he was attending to her.
If it's a girl, we're going to name her Daisy. If it's a boy,
Hercule.
he'll be stuck with Rudolph. It's a family tradition.
Venga ya,
All
marón.
of your family much happiness.
Thank you.
Oye, ha tenido que poner en medio para esa paparruchada. Para esa tontería, ¿da? Ahí están todas.
My daughter, my great friend, and I wanted to talk to you one last time. I speak on behalf of the entire Armstrong family, as well as those close to us. You have shown compassion. We know your reputation, and we understand that your choice was not easy for you. We are all the more grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, my dear. You managed to say the word thank you, although he did manage to put us through quite a lot.
You have given us all closure and some peace of mind.
You should know that I regret nothing. If this Freya Nielsen person had not been involved, I would have done it again.
Someone told me the Stalinists were frightened of you. I believe them.
The country of my birth breeds its share of brutes and bullies, but also some of the greatest intellectual and artistic minds the world has ever known. I pray that one day we will again be remembered for that.
I share your hope, Princess.
And of course, with the real murderer of that man out there somewhere, we are no longer guilty of much. Correct?
Princess, don't push your luck too far. If you'll excuse me, I have some packing to do. Ladies?
Venga. Termina ya, hijo.
At the end of this investigation, I still have my doubts. Did I make the right choice with the 12 self-proclaimed jurors?
Sí.
Yes, it was the right thing to do.
Me va a poner ahora moralista.
As for Mademoiselle Nielsen, what would I have done if she had not escaped?
¿Habría hecho que la detuvieran? No.
A crime was committed. By letting all those responsible go free, I am no longer just a simple investigator, but a judge. This question will haunt me. Judges often take motive into consideration when deciding
No habla
the
nada,
sentence
el gacho.
of crime. You are not a judge. Your job is to establish the facts, which you have done. The case has been solved. Another already awaits you. It is the reason you were on this train. It is time. Time to move on.
Ah, que me tengo que mover. ¿Para hablar con quién?
I
Para
hope
hablar
you
con
will
nadie.
travel with us again, Monsieur Poirot.
Monsieur Poirot, I spoke with my associates. I convinced them to give you a deal on our new Firenze SUV. No need to thank me. It's the least I could do.
That is very generous, but no, I do
Claro.
not drive.
You don't? What? But it's electric. It's good for the planet.
I am good for the planet, as long as I don't drive.
Sí, pero después va en taxi.
I don't understand. He refused.
Ya, en verdad, puedo hablar con todo el mundo aquí, pero yo no quiero hablar con nadie.
Have you lost something? May I help you?
Oh,
No, déjate.
you have done so much already.
What is it you
Déjate,
have
yo para qué he hablado.
Friends, we are traveling to Poland to help with children. We were to meet at an information booth. But
Pues
where
voy
do
al
I
puesto de
get
información.
information on how to find an information booth?
There is, I believe, an information booth just inside the main terminal.
Oh, thank you, sir. You are a great detective.
And you, madame, are a good soul.
I will miss this train.
Hey, Poirot. Say, Have you seen a scruffy little guy in a green trench coat?
I cannot say I have. Why?
He's my next case.
Another case? That was indeed
Oh,
fast.
pero eso digo yo.
Dev's gotta eat. You know what I mean.
I have some idea, yes.
Suspected embezzler. Traveling east, but not on the Orient Express. Say, you wouldn't be interested in teaming up, would you? Some good money in it.
I have had enough of trains for a while, thank you.
Okay, suit yourself.
Estas tres ya han hablado conmigo. Estos dos.
Mr. Poirot, Mr. McQueen here thinks he may know an attorney in the Berkshires who might need a gentleman's gentleman.
He's old school English. I think the clock stopped for him in 1934.
I hope it works out for you, Monsieur Masterman. What about you, Monsieur McQueen?
Well, back to law school for me, following my father's footsteps. We can take the train to St. Pancras, then the Piccadilly line to Heathrow and check out some flights.
Might as well. We're already packed.
I wish you both bonne chance.
Ah, Poirot. Mission accomplished. I have reported to the police that Freya Nielsen killed Hatchet and that she escaped. They're issuing an international arrest warrant. There's a canal that runs alongside the tracks where she jumped from the train. But they say there's little chance she survived. The police have questioned all of the passengers and crew, so for now, they are free to leave.
I gave them the results of my preliminary autopsy, and they have the report from the Venetian authorities. They were arguing about jurisdiction when I left.
Thank you, Doctor. You have been of inestimable help.
A fascinating case. I'm pleased I could assist you.
Venga, hombre.
Mr. Poirot, it seems our paths part here. It was an honor and a pleasure to work with you.
And I am with you, Detective Luke. The case would have been impossible without your tenacity and dedication to finding the truth. You also proved to be an able con artist in Geneva.
You too.
Oh.
Thank you for everything.
Eso no.
I'll never forget you.
And I shall
Este te toca con un
always
palito
treasure
ahí.
our collaboration.
Adiós.
Well, that's that. I'm hungry. Let's go to the Wagon Rouge restaurant. They make an excellent leg of lamb.
But it's only 5:34 p.m. Is food all you really think about, my friend?
I'm the one inviting you. You've well deserved it.
Por lo menos eso que te lleva.
Not going to obtain for you a secret recipe this time.
Poirot, they make a chocolate mousse that is so creamy. It must have a secret ingredient in it.
The last recipe came from a murderer.
But it was sublime.
¿Ves? Como algo había.
Dear Poirot, I didn't really have time to say goodbye when we parted. I thought I had beaten the greatest detective in the world, but you unmasked me. I still had my revenge, though. I even managed to help myself to a small amount of cash from Waddy's bag before you interrupted me in Venice. It will be enough to settle somewhere in a quiet little town where I will create delicacies for appreciative clients. You won't hear from me again, nor will Book get any more of my recipes. Oh, and one last thing. You may not think so, but I truly believe Ratchet and Waddy got their just desserts. Regards, F.
Brilla.
You, mademoiselle, are entirely too pleased with yourself. You give clues no one could follow. Unless they are Hercule Poirot.
Y ya hemos terminado el juego. Muchas gracias por haber estado ahí a todos. Un besito. Y nos vemos.